What's going on, folks? Let's go ahead and get this Philly cheesesteak made today. First thing you're gonna start off with is your onion. Go ahead and split that bad boy down the middle. Once you get that cut in half, split that half down the middle as well. Don't go through your root. If you go through your root, there's a good chance you might start crying. I kept my root on and started crying anyways. It's because I'm sensitive. After you're done crying, go ahead and throw some oil into a pan. I'm using canola oil. It burns at a higher temperature and great for frying up these onions. You're gonna wanna stir these around and get a nice caramelization on it, just like this. Once that's done, set it off to a side and move on to your meat. Now, if you don't want to use a super expensive ribeye cut like the traditional Philly cheesesteak has, go ahead and use chuck eye. Chuck eye has a good fat content, great tasting meat, and it's a fraction of the price. I threw this in my freezer for about 30 minutes to an hour before I started slicing it up. You want to have a nice firm piece. Now, I'd say 30 minutes to an hour, just because if you go longer than that, you might have ice block, which will make it that much harder to cut through. Once you get that nice and sliced up, go ahead and do your best to slice it up again or chop it up into some smaller, more bite-sized pieces. As far as bread goes, we're gonna go ahead and throw this on our pan, put a score mark in it just so you cut down your bread to the perfect size to match up with just as much meat, cheese, and onion as you're throwing on it. Go ahead and throw your meat into your pan over medium-high heat. Forget to put oil in it after frying up your onions, and then correct your mistakes from there. We're not perfect. After that, go ahead and stir it around until you get all of the red color out. We don't want to go much further than that because we don't want to dry out our meat. We want to lightly season it, just salt and pepper, just a little bit of each before we add in our onions. We don't want to take away from that nice flavor of the meat and the onions and the cheese. A lot of people like to use Cheez Whiz for this. I like provolone for my cheesesteaks personally. I know it's another great thing to use. You can choose how much cheese you want. I thought I wanted 2 slices to start. I learned the error of my ways and I went ahead and threw down a 3rd one. Put a lid on this afterwards just so that way you can melt the cheese down a little bit quicker and it makes it a little bit easier to pick up with your bread afterwards. This part was the tricky part. I had to try this a few times. It ends up being messy a lot of the times, but you know what? At the end of the day, that's okay. Again, we're not perfect. But you know what is perfect? This sandwich. Boy, was it good. Nice and cheesy, greasy, meaty, and the perfect thing to end a week. Thank you again, guys, for watching this. I love seeing you guys come into this. All the support I have. Please keep the suggestions coming. I'll catch you guys later.